So like I said before, my studio is very tiny, but I do really like it. I really enjoy being here. So I'm gonna give you guys like a little tour of how I kind of keep it organized, being in a small space, and kind of where I put everything. So yeah. So of course, when you first walk in, the first thing you see are all four walls. But besides that, here is where I kind of hang up all of my paintings that don't have a home or are being still worked on. That's just kind of like the wall I decided to put them on. This area is just where I mainly have all my paperwork, and like my paper to use for printing and the stuff for my Cricut. But yeah, it's probably the least used area in my studio, but it's just kind of a place where random things land. So having a sink was part of a must-have for me in a studio. Got these shelves at Daiso. They're super cheap and just it was really fast and easy. The sink looks insane.
And yes, that's all my mess, but it came very messy, which is kind of cool because there's like no pressure to keep it super clean, which I love. So that's awesome.
This area right here is where I do most of my painting. I actually didn't have this easel in here until probably about a couple months ago, just because another artist was moving out and they gave this easel to me, and I knew I didn't have very much space for it, but I didn't really care because these types of easels are really expensive and are just really nice, so it was a good thing for me. So I made it fit, but this is mainly where I will do all my painting. Over here is my like painting palette area. I'll usually like slide this thing over to my easel. This really badly needs to be scraped, so I'm actually going to be doing that today.
So here is my snack area where I have my mini fridge and a microwave.
And this area is basically where all of my supplies stays at. I cannot believe that all of this sat in my room in the corner. It's kind of sad, but now it's here and it gets to like live and breathe, so that's awesome. On the top shelf is where I have all of my primers, finishers, and mediums. I keep all of those up there, and I just can like step on a stool to grab whatever I need. I then over here have all of my spray paints, and I think this is just like randomness stuff. That's shoe paint, and then I as well have some clay back there that I do not use because I'm so bad at it.
So down here I have my printer. I just will print out different things, whether it's prints or stickers and stuff like that. Thankfully I try to outsource it just because I don't have like a huge printer and stuff like that. And then I also have my Cricut, which I as well try not to touch too much, but I do have it, and they are both very useful tools to have.
And then down here at the bottom, I have like my airbrush. I have some random paintings right here, and then some unfinished shoes, and then just more glitter and like electronic storage. And then at the bottom is where I have all of my canvases, all the things that I need to paint or need to be painted on. And then right next to it is where I store all my paint. I highly recommend, if you can like do this, to do it. It has made my life so much easier having this drawer. I literally like color code each color to be in the right color. So it's just super easy to kind of like just take your paint out. And I got that at the thrift store for $20, and it's normally at Michael's for $70. So I don't know, I was pretty stoked about that situation. So
So yes, that is the end of this tour. I was warning you, this place is tiny. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really appreciate that. It's so exciting to share something that I have been so excited about. I'm truly grateful to be able to have a designated space for my art. It's been quite an experience to just like look for a space, a studio space. And if I could give out any good advice for a studio, I would say look at a lot of different places, and make a list of all the things that you really need in your studio, all the necessities, all the little things that you need, and that if they aren't there, you're not going to get that studio. Because I think obviously you're getting a studio to be as comfortable as you possibly could be with your art. So I think there's just certain things that are very important to think about. Personally, for me, I didn't necessarily think about traffic. I live in a very busy, high populated area, and the traffic is insane unless you're driving at like 3 in the morning. It takes 20 minutes to get here. But any other time of the day, it's just kind of rough. So that's something that was hard for me at first to deal with, but once I'm here, I'm just super grateful, and I'm like, I went through all this, I'm going to stay focused and be here. But that's like a personal thing for me, and I think everybody's a little bit different. I think it's great to ask about the air conditioning, what level floor you need, what mediums you're going to be using if you need ventilation, all these different things. And probably the best advice I can give you is always look at reviews. Most of the times, if you're going to be at an art studio, there's going to be reviews online, and other artists usually have your back pretty well and are going to tell you their experience. I love my studio, but I definitely have gone through a couple of hiccups and a couple of unfortunate things. So just be very careful and mindful of that. I think that is super important, because it's unfortunate that I do believe there's like a lot of different places that will take advantage of artists. I mean, in general, when it comes to leasing or anything like that, but just be very wary of that, and make sure to look at a lot of places and look at the reviews. That's like the best thing I could tell you. So with all that being said, overall, I have had a great experience having my own little space. And although I'm in a tiny little space now, I hope someday in the future to move somewhere else. You never know where you're going to end up. So for now, this space is working for me, and I was so excited to be able to share it with you guys. So thank you to anyone who clicked on this video and watched. Have a great day.